Hello and welcome to BTA. In this tutorial, I'll walk you through setting up and managing your operating hours in BTA. So operating hours control when customers can book with you. You can set schedules at several levels, either store-wide hours to apply to your entire business, hours for specific services, and then hours for individual resources and staff, and different seasonal schedules. So we'll cover all that today, so let's get into it. The first part is navigating into the operating hours settings. To do that, you'll click on settings, then proceed to store management, and then select operating hours. One thing to note before we proceed is the color coding used on this page. The green schedule, for example here, means those hours are assigned to a single product as seen. Blue means the hours apply to your entire store. And we have a third option, which is orange. I will click on that, add two services, for example, the art course and the barber. Alright, I will click on save. Now you can see that orange means these hours are assigned across multiple products. For example, this is assigned to the art course and the barbershop service. So this makes it easy for you to see at a glance how your schedules are structured. Now the next step is updating your existing schedule. For example, if you have the schedule rental and want to change this, all you need to do is click on proceed into the season and update the schedules as necessary. If you want to close on a specific day, you will click on closed. For instance, our demo will set up Sunday as closed. And to change your opening and closing times, you will click on schedule and assign your from and the 2 hours. So this is the opening and this is the closing session. The third possibility is if you run split shifts. For example, if you open from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. and then again from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., you will click on the plus icon. So for this demo, I will select 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. and then I will add another option, as you can see, the plus, that will run from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. So this allows you to add the first time block and the second time block as well. Well, if you need to remove a split shift, you will click on the minus. The third part of this demo is creating seasonal schedules. For example, if your business has different availability at different times of the year, for example, a beach resort with busier hours in summer and reduced hours in winter, you can create separate seasonal schedules. And to do that, I will walk you through how to create a season within the operating hours. You will click on add a season, select your service. For example, for this demo, I will work with massage. I will name this as the summer hours. And then I will adjust the date range for our summer season to start in February and to end in June. And then I can schedule this as necessary to close on Sundays and to also close on Saturdays, but to keep as available for Monday to Friday on 24-hour basis. You can save this, and this means that for the summer hours, the massage service will be running Monday to Friday 24 hours from February 1st to June 30th. Always remember to click on save. Now, part 4, setting hours for specific services. I'll add a new season and assign to the massage product or service. For example, if your massage service runs a different hour than your fitness classes, you can create a separate schedule for the specific service by applying it to just this service, right? And you will also adjust this accordingly and save that. So you want to ensure that you've named the season explicitly, for example, massage hours, and then you will use the drop down to select the services you want to assign to this product. Please note that you can assign as many services as possible. An important thing to note is if you leave this as empty, this will apply to all your services on the store. Another handy shortcut that is worth knowing is you can also access your operating hours directly from within the service. For example, if I click back onto services, and then open app service, for example, the massage that we were working with, you can access availability within this section and proceed to managing on operating hours page. And as I mentioned, the color scheme, the blue represents standard operating hours, which is for the entire store. If this service has hours configured specifically for it, it'll show up as green if it's individual for just the service, and if it's shared among other services as well, the color scheme will show as orange. You can also click on Manage an Operating Hours page, it will redirect you back to the page. Now we'll proceed to part 5, which is setting individual staff hours of availability. So if your team members work on different schedules, you can set the operating hours at the individual staff level. So this is a one-time setup required before you do this. First, you will need to create the staff accounts. Once you create the staff account, you will proceed back to the resources section. Within the resources section, you will find your staff, for example, Albert here. Then within the availability section as well, you can also edit your operating hours for the resource Albert, your staff Albert. And to do that, as you can see currently, this uses standard operating hours for the store. You can also add a new season by clicking on add a season and configuring that as necessary. You can also set up operating hours within other resource labels. For example, for the equipment, you will click on the equipment itself, preview the availability, and edit season. The same case will be done for the room resource as well. The other functionality that needs you to configure operating hours is the locations. For example, if different locations have different timelines, you may want to be able to edit the available. To do that, you will navigate into the location, proceed to the availability. As also seen here, this is using the standard store hours. You can add a new season and configure them as expected. Now, once your operating hours are configured, it's always worth testing your setup to ensure that it displays as expected. And to do that, I will work with our massage service. I will click on that, and to view on the storefront, click on View. Now we're on the storefront and we want to ensure that the hours display as we expect. And as seen here, the massage service starts at 8 a.m. and closes at 5 p.m. as expected. And that's everything you need to know about operating hours in BTA. A few quick tips to keep in mind. You need to use clear and descriptive names for your seasons and schedules so that they're easy to find later. And also remember to update your hours seasonally to make sure your customers always see the accurate availability. And if you need help with your setup, reach out to our support team at support@bookthatApp.com and we'll be happy to assist. Thanks for your time.